Alright, so today I thought I would just go over how it is I got GIMP to run because I didn't build it, and exactly what I needed to do to get GIMP to run. And there are other apps on here that I think people would like to use for Haiku, all of which I have not built. And then I'll talk about the apps that I have. And I'm thinking about it some more, and I don't know, maybe it was a little bit too pessimistic about the results. I mean, they're certainly not what I wanted, but I'll start with TiltOS. So if you go to, so let's say you really want to use GIMP. Now, what I'm going to describe is a very manual process, okay? But you can do this. And if you want, and you're more enterprising, or have more energy than I have, or you feel like packaging things that other people might want to use for their use, you could go to this site, and if you learn how to make Haiku packages, you can package these things, and as far as I know, these things work. However, big word of caution. Right now I'm talking about the tiltos.com site. And I'm just gonna speak about my use case, because in general my opinion of the work that's been done on this site, I have a very high opinion of the results that this individual had. You know, he was actually able to build GIMP. You know, I have it. You know, I'm still scratching my head as to how he did that, but he did, right? And you have to, at least from what I've noticed, you have to kind of go exactly down the right path, or it's not going to work for you. And apparently he was able to accomplish that. So he does have some GTK apps, such as ABI Word and such as GIMP, and other ones too. So I'm going to talk about how you can actually get these apps that have been built and open them up and manually place them in your Haiku system. And use them. So what I'm going to do is start my Haiku virtual machine, but I'm going to be in Linux here because it is, to the best of my knowledge, at least the way I'm able to do this stuff, it requires that I use Linux. Okay, so this is files.tiltos.com/repos/core. Oh, sorry. What was the caution? When I tried to install the box application, it was a package manager, it seemed like it rendered my system unbootable, and that was with a recent nightly. The thing to know about these applications is they were built at a time when boot common was a part of the core Haiku operating system. So, and there were different versions of libraries and binaries embedded in the system. I'll turn down my theme song. So the end result is that I was no longer able to boot after I had used the box program. And what the box program is, if you installed TiltOS at a time that it worked, you'd be able to go to the terminal, open it up, and type box -i and the name of the program that you wanted to install, and it would resolve all the dependencies and download everything and put it in its place. That's obviously much more convenient in general to be able to do the manually placing things, but unfortunately, since that was under the old, basically the old Haiku design, you're not going to be able to run anything by putting it in boot common, because that's not path. There is no library path in the system, and these apps tend to not be path. So you'll try to run the binary, it's not going to find the library unless you manually place the libraries anyway. So there's no point in using the box install command with any of the nightlies. I haven't tested this out with the last alpha, but nonetheless, there's a lot of useful applications here, and they actually do work. You're not going to have automatic dependency, have the dependencies automatically resolved for you, but nonetheless, it may be worth getting this stuff together and using it. So, so if you know how to make Haiku packages, this is a gold mine. Just figuring out how to get the stuff out of it. So let's just try, since I literally have no KDE apps, just pick some KDE. So I'm going to try, let's see, this KDE game is one package, yeah. So this is one package, and the way he has it divided up, he has a development package, and he has a standard package. So again, files, tiltos.com, repos, core, name a package, and then this one means it's the first version he released. There were some that he had several versions that, he tried the first time, and then he tried after that. And okay, let's see if I can find one that had several versions. I don't think GIMP did. I remember some of the GIMP dependencies did. Let's see, does Nash? No. I mean, there's GOffice. I mean, a lot of people are talking about things over at the forum. When are we going to get this? When are we going to get that? He's got it built here. I talk about that. He doesn't. I don't think he has Firefox here, does he? No. Is this something he had? Yeah. Okay. So an example where he has more than one release. Here's FFmpeg. It may be the same version of the package. Like this is 0513. What's this? 049. 052. So he finally decided to go with 051. I would go with the latest one that he has here. So let's just try, let's go back to JJK. Or this KDE PIM. This I guess it's a information manager. So we have a box folder, a box package, and we have a development package. They're both .box files. I'm just going to go for the binaries and the libraries. Okay, I'm in Linux for a reason, because I have yet to figure out how to open these things up in Haiku. So I'm going to open them up here, and I'm going to take it down to downloads folder. Alright, so here it is, and at least in KDE 3 it's telling me, hey, this is a tar archive. Okay, so what I usually do is just extract it right here. It says it's a tar archive. Okay, I accept that. Now if you're able to figure out how to do this in Haiku, great, you don't have to take this extra step. So I have, there's a cache and there's a data folder. The cache folder does have the requirements. Build info is just the date it was built. The requires, here's everything we're gonna need. In general, these are all the files you will need. I'll probably go get this. How many pages is that, for God's sakes? So I might be here for a while. Release, he's just saying it's file number 1. Provides all this stuff. And the files that are involved, which is actually not too small. That's actually, okay. But it's wanting to go to boot common library, blah, blah, blah. And I'll explain how I'm going to deal with this. But what you're actually looking for is a target zip file. Okay. So you just copy that. And let's see, you can just browse into Haiku and to Samba if you have that. If you don't have that, you're going to want to set these packages aside and figure out how you're going to get them into Haiku. FTP works. And there's another cool thing you could do, actually, I could probably cover right here. If you're using VirtualBox, let me grab this paper. Give me a second. Using VirtualBox, you can actually mount the VirtualBox disk image from Linux, like it's a disk image. And there was one person that actually did a good job of chronicling how to mount VirtualBox disk images from within Linux. Problem is, no, that's not going to work. It's not going to work because B file systems read only from Linux. However, okay, so if you don't have access to an FTP site, besides installing Samba by bootstrapping package source and using the packages that I built, because I know those work, from my Git site, which no one's using. A lot of packages that work, probably a lot that work, actually. So yeah, I was kind of pessimistic there, but still, 50 games that work somewhat is better than none, right? Anyway, so let's just get back to this. I don't know where you can email them to yourself, but sometimes WebPositive just doesn't. Let's hope that WebPositive's been. You can try that. You can try making a virtual machine with a second NTFS disk, but I don't even know if that will mount in the latest nightlies. You really want to have Samba. I mean, it makes it a lot easier. I'm just going to do that. So, I'm just going to throw it into this directory here called kit. I'm going to show the exact procedure I do. I'm going to look at this. I know this. There is a very large list of dependencies this is going to have, and I might not even finish in this presentation, but you'll get the idea before I'm done how to go about this. So I basically put this in one of my Samba shares. I'm going to go back into Haiku. God, I got a mess here. Oh my God, I'm tired. It's here. All right, so there it is. It's 17 megabytes, not small. First thing I'm going to do is actually I think I'm going to actually make another share for Samba. So that way when I go, I'm going to have to use the terminal. I don't want all this crap screen. Well, I'll just rename this thing. So let's call this thing going to rename this just as kit. And I'm going to go into my Samba. Let's see. Yeah, I wasn't exactly ready for this, but I tend to just do things on the fly. Spell it the same way, Samba, let's see. And you know what? Because it's so easy to do, I'll just restart. How about that? And I'll make sure once I restart, I could browse into my own network. That way, with all this me muddling about, you could go and get your notes if you want. It gets a little bit complicated. If you know what you're doing, if you've done this kind of stuff before, you'll remember. There it is. Okay, so the share name has changed. Good. Alright, so I'm going to go in here, and I'm just going to double click on it. So ask me, do you want to, should this just say go ahead and fix it, and then expand. And hopefully I'm not going to be downloading anything that's going to be called kit. And I'll just set this thing aside. Don't know if I'm going to upload it anytime soon anyway. There aren't a lot of people that are interested in actually building things for Haiku at this stage, and they have reason. So this is, see, it's putting everything in boot common, but I'm gonna go through that. I'm gonna explain why that doesn't matter completely and how that can be worked around. Or dealt with. The basic, as I've gone over before, if I just start here, because that way. And it looks like it's done. So if you type env, env, not in caps, and alpha. You will see that there's something called, a variable called library path on the left, with the parentheses A that I was complaining about. Basically, if you put your apps in boot home config non-packaged library, the libraries will be found. The location of the binaries don't really matter unless they just don't know where to find those libraries. Well, actually, it doesn't even matter because this setting here will make it be found. So you can run your binaries from anywhere, so you might as well put in the home non-packaged binary. So let's see what this entails. So I'm going to go into boot in common. I'm just going to go File, just go Window, select all, File Cut. I'm going to go to my home directory, Config, non-packaged, and I'm just going to do a file and paste. If asked if I want to replace anything, usually these start out empty. So you're not really going to be paving over anything except for the directories that are already there. Okay. Now, I just want to look at the contents of this file to see what what the actual binary is, and this is called, here's one called groupware wizard, the aggregator. I'll just try kalarm, okay? So I'm going to go to, in fact, it's already pathed. So if I type kalarm, it's pathed. And it says, well, can't find libkutils. No such file or directory. So what does that mean? Does it mean that the software is crapware, it's not going to run? Nice try, go home. No, it means you need to find the dependency. I mean, as was pretty clear from that list, there's a lot of them, a lot of files. So we got to figure out what these files are, what packages these are that make up the dependencies. I'm just going to move boot and common to the trash. I'm going to set this aside. In fact, you know, I'm just going to make a new folder. I'm going to call this KDE. So I can keep track of, you know, what are all the dependencies for KDE PIM. So, but I have to find out, is there a package called kutils or something like that in which will resolve at least this first dependency? And here's a hint, here's a clue. There's going to be a lot of them. There's going to be a lot of dependencies. So, and there's something called KDE utils. All right, well, let's try that. Click on it, save it, go back to our downloads folder. And over here, you know, I'm not all that interested in keeping this old stuff. Why? Because, well, I want to know what comes out of this thing. So, open that, extract here. Sure thing, it's tar archive. Go in the data directory, it's all I'm interested in. Copy, browser network, Haiku, kit. If I refresh that, that should change. Here's paste. We're all alone in our kit directory. Go back into Haiku. Double click on it. Yes, go ahead and proceed. Make it not executable. Expand it. This will disappear once it's done. If you have an extraordinarily large package, then guess what? That's right. It'll take a long time. I'm going to move KDE utils in here. I'm going to look and see if under library there's something called libkutils. Not really. Wow. So that's still going to be unresolved. And that's a problem you could get into. How am I going to figure out? However, if you try the KDE libraries, why not? It goes at a very nice speed there. In fact, you know, it's not even going to matter. Oh, and this is what happens. I should not have put that in there so quickly. Should I? In fact, just delete this. here, blah, 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 blah. Copy that over there. Now we're going to Haiku. Now we'll see. Yes, go ahead and proceed. Make it, expand it. When that's done, I'm going to find out whether it's got KUtils in it. It is a bit touch and go, as they say. Now, with this KDPIM, I'm going to do a readelf -d on boot home config non-package without the caps, thank you, bin, and I think it's KD, is it KDPIM? Was it? I forgot what was in there. I'm going to do a readelf so I can find out where, if it wants to look for libraries in a particular place. So I'll do akregator. Oh, this does have an embedded OR path. So in this case, we have a problem. This application needs to find all these shared libraries up here in boot common library. If the binary has a library path embedded in it, then I don't think it's going to work if I just put it in boot home non-packaged library. It's going to look in boot common library, and if it doesn't find it, it's going to say, sorry, it's not there. So that means I got to put a copy of those, but then I got to, some of these don't have, like GIMP didn't have an R path. So at the end of the day, what it ends up is I need to I could make symbolic links from, boot common package library, all that stuff, back down to boot home non-package. And everything else that's in that directory. It's probably the only way you could really do it. So that makes, you see how difficult that makes things. And it comes down to the actual details of the binary. So now people the guy that did this, he must have worked a very, very long time just to build this stuff and to build it right. It must have been a lot of trial and error, because I know things don't just build and just work in this system. Shared memory comes to mind, if you doubt that. But that's the truth. So, you can do one or two things. You could always make 2 copies of everything you bring in, or you can make symbolic links. And in this case, I'm actually hoping that it's... Now, here's the deal. It doesn't... You don't have to use the original folder that came with the system for it to work. It's just that, in fact, if you rename the original folder that came with this, boot home config non-packaged library. If you rename that to library 1, none of the libraries that are in library 1 would actually be pathed anymore. Conceivably and theoretically, you don't have write access to any of the other any of the 3 other directories that are pathed. So your only real chance of getting things to work well at all is to make a symbolic link, and you're gonna want to do it for every single thing they got here. You want to firmly place those in boot common. Now, when I did this, I'm going to delete. I didn't do that yet, so I'm just going to delete that, and I'm going to go into my home directory to non-package, and I'm going to say create link current folder. So this is right now. This is called add-ons link. You could use the command line. Yes, there is a more efficient way to do this. Okay. However, I'm trying to do this so everybody can do this and not struggle with the command line syntax of supposed to be, you know, user-friendly operating system. There's the bin link. Now, boot never really. Somehow I think this launch directory is going to be important. I'm going to get rid of that. Data, let's see. Create link, current folder, blah, blah, blah. File, cut, and a file, and a paste, and a data, and a rename. And etc., which probably really only needs to go in common, but I'm still going to do it this way. Create link, and you have to create the link in the current folder. It just doesn't do it. File, cut, and file, and paste, and rename. You want to do this fairly early, but you can't do it too early because you may not be able to guess what things are going to actually land in here. File, and a cut, and a file, and a paste, and a rename. Create another link. And I'm going to create another link. And we're going to create other link. I'm just going to do it that way. Alright, so once I'm done getting... Now I could try it, actually, and see whether it's finding stuff, right? But the fact that it wants boot common library, I better have those things in boot common library. And I could look at it manually, or I could just try it. I think I'll just try it. So we're still missing the KUtils. I mean, that's probably because I haven't really moved any of this stuff here. Cover all this stuff in to non-package. Cut and paste. Now let's see if it makes any difference. Aha! Aha! It changed. Now it's looking for lib kcal. I seem to remember. See, boy, do I got a lot of stuff here. Anyway, let's live G. It's got variants of live kcal, but it doesn't actually have just live kcal. So we need to go find the said live kcal. First, I'm gonna clean this out. And I already moved this. Not yet. Back to the repo for you. I'm gonna look for. This might be. Problem is, I'm not gonna know. I'm gonna guess this is gonna be what I'm looking for. So where we used to have an installer, now our end users get to do things manually and repackage things. Extract here. So this is what someone would have to do if they want to repackage this stuff into Haiku packages. And I'm under some favorable conditions here because I got Samba. Yes. So there is your library kcal. So Windows, select all, file, and cut. File and paste. Place them all. Off with their heads. Delete that. And the KDPIM libraries. There's 4 packages there. Now it wants live phone on. Alright, let's try to figure out how we're going to resolve this phone on thing. First thing I look for is live phone on. If I don't see it, then I'll look for phone on. Now I'm gonna guess I'm gonna need the KDE base. And I'm guessing. I'm just guessing I need a KDE base. Extract here, go with it. Data, copy, and you can still cut that if you want. I'm just whatever. All right, where are we here? Here's KDE base. Thank you. Proceed. Expand. I'm gonna peruse and see whether maybe Phonon comes with the KDE base. We shall see. Now, another issue here is I was, he eventually had moved over to GCC4. I had read somewhere, but there's a few things here that might have been built under GCC2. So I'm actually installing this into a GCC4 installation, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work. Just thought of that. But damn the torpedoes. Full speed ahead. I'm just going to look. So not seeing the live phone on. Okay. Apparently we got Dolphin here, so let's say select all. So I got to keep looking for that, but at this stage I'm just going to install everything that looks KDE like and hope for the best. And this is the SDK. So this I can't even really prove. It was a little more clean cut with GNOME. This I'm just... I know I'm looking for a library phone on, but I don't know what the hell package that would be in. Holy mackerel. The SDK means software development kit. We'll find out. Not finding it. What? Just add it. Plenty of room. Plenty more where that came from. This isn't necessarily, if I just call this KDE now. And of course those are gone, right? Right, because it was working. Mac graphics, that might be. I forgot phone on you. There's only so many things I'm gonna remember here, people. Okay. And that's what I did. I just browsed into it, went to the data folder, copy paste, done. From tar to Samba share in one fell swoop. Not the kind of interface you're going to get with Ubuntu and GNOME, okay? That's why I don't like GNOME. Still nothing. Damned you. Damned you, KDE. No, select all, fire. Now, if he doesn't actually have the dependency on this website, that'll be really fun. Oh, you know what? I might actually be able to browse out of my network. I'm gonna see whether I'm just gonna start from the top. KADU. Okay, go get it. Downloads. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, browser. Data, copy, and a one, and a paste, and I like it. If you like it, I like it. Is it good? It's good. We double click and we proceed and we expand the contents. In fact, what I should do is just get them all. Not do them one at a time. Right? This isn't, so bad. I mean, who wants to actually have to go through some installation process when they can just plonk things in place oh so efficiently. Right. KB Proto, which is not part of KDE. Accessibility, why not? Admin, why not? Artwork, what the hell? Runtime, you bet your ass. KDU, what possessed me to do this? Experimental, it's alive. Multimedia, bang your head. KD Network, mental health that drive you mad. And runtime, which maybe this is what I've been looking for the whole time. Plasma add-ons. Well, what do we have to add today? Toys for extra fluffy flavor. Let's develop. The developer platform is for developers. And the web dev is for developers. KDiff, I'm not really too thrilled about that. Whatever. Office, I don't even know. I won't even know like what I got. And Crusader. If I didn't get the Photon libraries after all this, they're just too damned bad. Alright. Now, we're going to take a look. Look at our download directory. We're just gonna go down the list here. KTorrent. Crusader. Office. KDiff. KWebDev. KDev platform. KDevelop. WKRP in Cincinnati. KDE Toys. Plasma add-ons. PIM runtime, which probably is the library Photon I've been looking for this whole damn time, but who knows. Network. Multimedia. Fast you can go in KD3. Maybe a search box. Okay. Educational whatnots. And the base runtime, which also probably has the I'm gonna unzip all these the same place and make a copy in one. Thing. I'm a Bob. Found me an ancient gold mine. Haiku apps. Legendary haiku apps. There may still be some dependencies, but I'm hoping they're not going to be KD dependencies, and I'm hoping that they'll be descriptive enough that I'll be able to find whatever the hell it is I need to find to get things to run. Check my file size here, otherwise... Alright, we're getting kind of late here, so... Kadoo! Expand, Kadoo, expand. See, these are nice and marked for me, so I'm going to know what I've expanded, what I've not expanded. The goal here is to bring the system to a file system crawl. How many of these damn things do I have open? They've multiplied. My expanders are bearing fruit. Let's see, normal stuff runs, but then... I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One disappeared. 3. Okay, there we go. Boop, boop, boop. Just for good measure, I can empty the trash. Now they're starting to drop off like flies. K-Office, Crusader, and KTorrent to go. I'll go for the small one first. Just thinking about it. for Crusader. K-Office, not necessarily KEDU, is the granddaddy of them all. I don't know why that thing's labeled experimental, but go for broke. Alright, so while we wait for this stuff to expand, which is I'm gonna grab myself another Coke drink. Expander countdown. We have, I think, like 10 of these damn things. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Let's see. 1, 2. Let's see, 3 here. 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9. Yep, there goes one. Fancy. There's another one. And another one. Down to 6. Now, conceivably, each one of these packages would be converted into Haiku packages. And of course, you really can't make a giant mega package that's just called KDE3. Well, you could. They don't really want you to do it that way. I say go ahead and do it. But conceivably, you'd want to repackage the contents of each one of these things into something. And you want to, okay, now we're down to 5, and then repackage this as Haiku packages. You know, that floats your boat. Five more. Let's see how many more we have. So we have KDEDU remains. The accessibility remains. The artwork. That's going. So we have the EDU, the artwork, base runtime, and K-Office. Artwork. EDU. Okay, now it's down to 3. K-Office, artwork, KDU. K office will be done soon. Sooner than the other stuff. Then I'm going to move that stuff over to where it belongs. Now let's not empty the trash. It'll be here all night. Okay, I'm going to stop here and then I'm going to restart.